Tomorrow, I'm going to start hiking the Appalachian Trail. My intention is to do the entire thing. Tomorrow is May 11th. I decided around February 1st that I was going to do that this year. At that point, I started, learning about the gear and buying the gear because I have not spent a night in a tent that wasn't just in the backyard in my life. So I started getting the gear together. I've already upgraded my backpack from the one that I bought in February. I've already upgraded my tent from the one that I bought in February. I don't want to go crazy with detail with the gear, but just quickly, I got an Osprey pack. I love it. I've now been on the trail twice with it. It's very comfortable. I just upgraded my tent to a much smaller, the Big Agnes Fly Creek, smaller than the one that I had. So far, I think I'm going to love that. I have a Kelty sleeping bag, 20-degree sleeping bag. In February, I was in there on the trail in snow, so it was cold, but I was comfortable inside the sleeping bag. Got my Black Diamond trekking poles, which I already love. The days that I've been out on my warm-up hikes have been on a lot of rocky terrain. So with my new experience of wearing a backpack, and I probably packed heavier than I needed to, those trekking poles were a lifesaver. I also have, each one is prepared to hold that kind of camera, and this one's prepared to hold my phone as the camera. I have food. I generally have 5 days worth of food. It weighs a little more than 10 pounds. I probably have a little bit too much of almost everything here. But I'm okay with that because I'd rather start with too much and discard things as I learn how I prefer to use the gear that I have. Water is a major factor when you're out on the trail. So you can see here it's a smart water bottle. There's a filter on top of it. So when I get spring water, run it through the filter. I have that smart water bottle. I have an empty smart water bottle on the other side. I have this, which goes in my pack, and this holds 2 liters. So I'm prepared to get some water. I have my guide, which I actually ripped in half because there's no point in carrying half of a guide that I'm not going to need for another 3 months. I generally expect the whole thing to take about 6 months. So I am going to start in Pennsylvania because I live in Pennsylvania, and it's May, so I'm getting a late start. It's too late to start in Georgia and walk the whole thing. I'll give you some more detail on that later. But in preparing, I'm in my empty apartment because I'm moving out of my apartment. I also prepared today. I shaved and I gave myself a short haircut because who knows when I'll get my next haircut. I weighed myself. I'm 173 pounds right now. So starting, I'm 173 pounds. I'm going to show you the map. To give you an idea which way we're going. There's my map. It's pretty much the only thing left in here. So the typical way, the way most people do the Appalachian Trail, if they're doing the entire thing, is to start down here in Georgia at Springer Mountain and walk north. The length of the trail this year is 2,193 miles. And way up here in Maine is Katahdin. That's the northern terminus. And I am very close to the middle. The middle of the trail is in Pennsylvania. I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm a little past the middle. So I'm going to start in Pennsylvania. I'm going to start at Port Clinton, and I'm going to walk north to Maine. And depending how long that takes me, that will determine how I'm going to do the southern half. So after I get to Maine, I might return to Pennsylvania. I'll most likely take Amtrak. So I might return to Pennsylvania and then walk south, or I might take Amtrak all the way down to Georgia and then walk back to Pennsylvania. We'll see what the date is to determine how I'm going to finish. So I'm very excited to get started. I'm on my way. I'm in Port Clinton, Pennsylvania, and from experience I know that this is the last road that I'm going to cross for at least 9 miles on the trail. And it's already like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm not gonna cover a huge distance today. And yeah, I was here about 3 weeks ago, and man, what a difference in the vegetation from the middle of April to the middle of May. Everything is green now, which is only good news for walking in the middle of the day, because that means more shade. All right, I'm at the Pinnacle. It's not known for this, but I think we got a rattlesnake down there. Somebody just told me it was a rattlesnake. I haven't heard it, fortunately. That's a good thing. But what people typically come here for is the view. I guess maybe the snakes like the view too. Yeah. That's some view. How far away is that blue line over there? I'm going with far. I'm going with very far. And it's definitely a watch that first step situation. On my second full day on the trail, and I just keep coming across these opportunities for looking at large chunks of Pennsylvania at one time. Pretty cool, huh? Although, don't be misled, most of the trail is just wide enough for one person. Okay, here I am in Pennsylvania still. If there's any question about that, look what I'm surrounded by. Giant rocks. Pennsylvania has the nickname Rocksylvania, and this is why. But not only am I walking on them, excuse me, a lot, but you end up walking along these. I hope you guys can see the perspective here. That's up, I don't know, 15 feet above me, the top. But walking along these walls of rock, very interesting. And I mean, like, I walked along one yesterday. It must have been 45 minutes. But that's the path right there somewhere in front of me. Good morning. I'm starting my 5th full day out here. I think I did 56 miles in the first 4 days. Not trying to push myself. Feeling good. My shoulders complain once in a while from these straps that you can see from this pack. My feet are fine. Knees, ankles are okay, which is good considering all the rocks that I've had to climb over in the last 50 miles. I'm learning a lot as I go. I mean, I only seriously considered doing this starting about January, so I've only been learning since January how to do it at all. Never slept in a tent before. But a lot of it is personal preference. So one thing, for instance, I've decided to cook lunch instead of cooking dinner, because I find that makes a nice break in the middle of the day. Take off my socks, let them dry out a little bit. Not that they're really that wet, because I studied enough to buy good socks, so I have good socks. But still, give the feet a break from the socks, let them dry out a little bit, cook a good lunch. Man, I had a good lunch yesterday. It was mashed potatoes and beef gravy and beef jerky. That was a good lunch. So it was good and filling, and got me on my way. Hey, I want to talk to you about something that's very important to trail life, which is these trekking poles. Everybody's familiar with walking sticks, but out here they're really important for many reasons. One reason in particular is if you're walking along a path that's not very wide and there's a lot of brush like there is here, dead leaves, well, there could be a snake in there. So rather the snake be surprised by the end of your trekking pole than your foot. So that also, there's a lot of good reasons to have a stick around. But I was glad that I learned that there's actually a correct way to use these straps on the end. They're not just like a surfboard leash in case you drop the pole. The correct way to use the strap is to put your hand up like this and then grab the handle, and then that way, see the strap under my hand there, every time I push down on them, which is thousands of times or tens of thousands of times, all of my weight is now going on that strap right there, and in effect is using my entire forearm to go down on the strap like that, rather than just if I didn't use the strap and it would just be my hand. And I would have to spend the whole day with a good grip on the handle like that. As it is, I don't. What's basically holding the pole is just this pinch right here, and of course the strap, and the bottom finger or two end up steering. And when I was trying to remember which was which, at first I thought that this fancy schmancy label would go on the outside, because of course the money side, like on sneakers or on carousel horses, they make the outside look good because people will see them. But out here, who's gonna see them? So I was actually doing it wrong, and that's when I learned that they labeled them L and R. So it goes like that, and this one goes like that. They also have other uses, like I'm using this one to hold my camera. I'm also using it to hold my supply of duct tape. So now that's some weight that I do not have to have in my backpack, because that's always a thought out here. So now I'm ready to go with my good grip on my trekking poles, walking all day like that. And like I said, the label's facing on the inside, because of course out here, who's gonna see it if the label's facing outside? Willie Willow and Peter Pine? That's actually a quote from the Rankin Bass, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which actually, Santa Claus is Coming to Town has a good song which applies a lot out here, like all the time. No, it's not the first toy maker to the king. It's put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking across the floor. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking. Okay, we're well into full day number 5 now. I almost got rained on. I saw lightning. I felt a few drops. I got prepared by putting my pack cover on my backpack, but it really wasn't much rain at all. I've gone 67 miles, something like that. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not trying to crush miles. But I did book a room tomorrow night, so that'll be my 6th full day, and that's so that I can recharge my battery packs, recharge my phone, recharge my earbuds, stuff like that, upload some videos. It's also so I can get a shower, because it only took a couple days out here for me to be able to spot day hikers by their smell, it's because they smell like soap. And I guess I don't, because I haven't had a shower for 5 days. So that's tomorrow. Haven't seen many animals. Saw that one rattlesnake. That was a good one. Seen a lot of deer. Boy, these deer are really skittish out here. Not like those suburban deer that I'm used to. A lot of deer, you know, from a distance. And it's funny, a lot of times I thought I heard something, and then I would stop walking to see if I could listen closer, and of course the sound stopped, because it wasn't something. It was just like my pants rubbing together or something. But I thought it was something in the brush, but no such luck. So not a lot of animals yet. Oh, I got a good recording of an owl last night. I don't know if that'll be on the YouTube or whatever, but that was a really good recording. Unfortunately, it was 3:21 in the morning, but still really cool to hear. And I'm approaching Delaware Water Gap, which means I will be in New Jersey very soon. So that'll be my first state border crossing. As usual, we're up on top of a ridge here. This is one of the more comfortable parts where I'm walking on dirt instead of walking on rocks. Okay, that's almost it for day 5, so I'll see you down the trail. I'm coming into Delaware Water Gap, which is my last location in Pennsylvania, but I just wanted to show you this interesting section, which is much different than all the outlooks that I have featured. Well, it's nice and cool in this shade. Fortunately, a lot of the trail is in the shade. Here's some examples of why you can get through the Appalachian Trail without much guidance. As I'm approaching this other path, I don't know if it's a driveway or a path, but there's a white blaze right there telling me I'm on the right track. There's 2 white blazes telling me that there's a right turn coming up because the top one is to the right. There is a tree placed across this path telling me that's the wrong way. And then as soon as I head the right way, there's confirmation with a blaze. So I know I'm going the right way. This is my room at the Deer Head Inn in Delaware Water Gap. This is my first night off trail. And I ended up in this place, which is beautiful. I think the building was originally from 1853, but it's also the longest continuously running jazz club in the country. I'm here on a Monday night. Today's Tuesday. So, you know, in virus world, the restaurant wasn't open at all last night, but fortunately there was a restaurant in town. And as it turns out, I ended up having dinner with 2 former co-workers, which was great. I also managed to get a resupply box from my daughter because she took it to my co-worker at work, and my co-worker brought it here. So Cindy and Sandy, thanks for meeting me for dinner. That was nice. I took a shower yesterday when I got here, and I took a shower just now before I leave. I couldn't resist the opportunity to take advantage of that. It was interesting to sleep in a bed. Actually, last night when I was going to bed, I was kind of wondering how I was going to feel about getting back on the trail this morning. But as soon as I got up this morning, can't wait to get back on the trail. I've been on the trail a week now, so it was an opportunity for me to unpack my entire pack and take a look at everything that was in there and, you know, determine what I could get rid of, because that's the most important thing, is not carrying anything you don't have to. So I actually sent back some stuff with Sandy to give to my daughter Erin, like some long underwear pants, because I'm not going to need those because I have rain pants. So that'll be plenty. Just a few things and I also threw away a lot of things that are not even worth sending back. So I'm on my way back because I did not intend to take a zero here, even though I got a hotel room. As it turns out, yesterday I think I only walked 7 miles to get here, and it's 10:30 in the morning. I don't know how many miles I'll do today. So we'll see. Back on the trail.